on a very light note, but thank you for ambushing me, Chief of the Army. You have really taken full advantage of the occasion you are in charge of today. Let me first say that on behalf of the Minister of Defense and Military Veterans, Honorable Thandi Modise, who's in Cape Town on urgent business of the ministry and could not be part of today's event, how much we appreciate what has been exposed to the ministry here today. The determination of the South African National Defence Force to execute its mandate to the best of its ability. I want to recognize all members of the Military Command Council as led by the Chief of the South African National Defence Force who are at this event. I will not be detailed in my recognition of everyone who must be recognized here, but allow me to recognize the commands of the 4 arms of services of the South African National Defence Force, members who may be part of this event here, and especially because, as the Chief of the Defence Force has already said, this exercise was supported by other arms of service that made it complete in the manner in which it was presented. And also to recognize members of the Plenary Defense Staff Council, PDSC, who may be here today, and to acknowledge all our generals, senior officers who are here. Allow me to proceed and say we have at this event the privilege to be hosts to our fraternal friends, countries that we have relations in matters of defense here with us. And I want to say to members of the diplomatic corps who are here present, it could be ambassadors or defense attaches, thank you very much for coming. And of course, lastly, the generals of tomorrow, the rank and file members of the SANDF that make this exercise possible. Let me just make the point that our country is a country which is very much aware that prosperity and safety for our citizens is what we can only realize in pursuing together in collaboration with other nations, and especially the nations of our region. It is very heartwarming that we are here today to give that assurance to members of SADC, but also to our continent, representatives who are here to say, as South Africa, we will keep our side of the pledge to make the continent a world that is free of conflict. We will indeed contribute to the silencing of the guns together with yourselves. And as you have observed, we are doing our best, even with the low levels of resources that our country has at its disposal to dedicate to the defense function. Secondly, to say that to the members of the South African Defense Council, it is also heartwarming to us in the ministry that you are doing your best to make sure that this profession, the military profession in South Africa, is a community that is second to none, in spite of the objective disadvantages that we have of low resources for our defense force, but that you are honing and training soldiers that can compete and compare to all military people and professionals anywhere in the world, and that you are doing on behalf of our people, because indeed they do deserve this kind of committed patriotism in our defense force. Let me then make the point that as a ministry, we are very much aware that the performance and the state of our defense is a responsibility of all citizens, not only the ministry and not only cabinet, not only the political leadership of government, but also our communities. Because if we were to approach the challenge that we have simply as those who are, as belonging to those who have been deployed to be in charge of it, we'll be missing the point. Because the well-being of our country into the future is the responsibility of all citizens. It is the responsibility of all communities in our country that they must put pressure on leaders to look after this establishment. Because indeed, as it is often said, this is our life insurance as a country. And it would be politically irresponsible. And I am making this point conscious of the fact that we are just coming out of a very enterprising exercise of local government election in this country, where our communities have put in place public representatives who must be responsible for their needs, for their problems on a daily and ongoing basis. It is important that that democratic system must remain in place into the future, and we must preserve it. Its sovereignty must be preserved for future generations. But not only that, the prosperity of our country with respect to development of its economy in order to deliver the freedom so many have sacrificed for, that economic development and prosperity can only succeed if this establishment is there to provide the guarantee of stability, of security throughout our land and breadth of our country, in order for freedom to have an opportunity to become a reality, not to have communities that are torn by violence because they are protests, no service deliveries because the economy is not doing well, and there are so many issues that are features of dysfunctionality. We must make it a point that we have a stable and secure country in order for our people to realize a better life. So on behalf of the ministry, once again, you deserve, I know, a rest. You're going to sleep like babies. I've been there before, you're so where you are. But don't forget to report for duty tomorrow. You have put up a brilliant show. Thank you very much.